If you could stop somebody from breaking in before they got inside, why wouldn't you? Most old-school systems go off after someone's already in your place. That's too late. SimpliSafe is different. It's proactive, with a double layer of defense that stops crimes before they start. First, AI-powered cameras spot potential threats outside. Then, live agents step in, talking to the person through the camera, letting them know they're on video and police will be dispatched if they don't leave. They can even trigger a loud siren or spotlight. That's how you help stop crime before it starts. I got SimpliSafe a few months back, and I've never felt more secure. My new entry and motion sensors give me confidence that my family and belongings are safe. Whether I'm out of town or settling in for the night, that's real safety at the click of a button. This month only, take 50% off any new system. This is one of the best prices you'll ever see for SimpliSafe. Don't miss it. Hit simplisafe.com/disturbed. Again, that's simplisafe.com/disturbed and lock in your discount. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. Last-minute shopping can be tough. With empty shelves and ideas running low, things get stressful. Aura Frames is the solution with a gift that feels personal. Take my parents, for example. At their age, they're just focused on family. That's why I'm excited to give them an Aura Frame. Aura Frames are digital picture frames that will allow me and my parents to display an unlimited number of photos on rotation. All we have to do is download the Aura app and invite family to see memories come alive in the highest resolution display on the market. I know they'll be thrilled to stay up to date on the newest photos of the grandkids. Plus, I can preload photos before they ship. After all, you can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura Frames' best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code HORROR at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code HORROR. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so get yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
This content may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion advised.
It all happened so quickly that I couldn't even process it. All I knew was that I just had a gun pointed at me for the first time in my life, and Theo and Mitch knew a lot more than anyone else.
I became so paranoid that I had trouble sleeping. I gladly took the late watch shifts up on deck because it kept me out of that damp, claustrophobic space where I constantly felt unsafe. I just had a feeling that something was wrong.
From Killer Podcasts. True tales of horror, bizarre happenings, unexplainable events. This is Disturbed. Hello, and welcome back to the show. This week, we have 3 stories that will alarm and unnerve. So sit back, listen closely, and dive into the horror. In our first story, a teenager does something unthinkable, and things will never be the same. Narrated by Kat Carter, from Reddit user Skyfully.
When I was 15 years old, I met my now ex-boyfriend. I'll call him Theo. He was a year older than me, but He and I had been around each other often because we shared the same friend group. I knew that he had had a rough past and liked to drink and smoke, but even though I didn't, I never had an issue with it. In my crowd, I was the odd one out for staying sober. Theo got into a lot of trouble with his friends Mitch, Tommy, and Rick. Tommy and Rick were into heavy drinking, heavier drugs, and theft. They'd often break into local restaurants that had liquor licenses just to steal alcohol. We live in a quiet port town. You know, it's not some big city, so this was very uncommon. In fact, the only big news that ever came from that town was people getting busted for smuggling drugs. Anyways, I wanted nothing to do with Tommy and Rick from the start, and my ex never pushed us to be close, so it was never an issue. Until one night. After school, one Friday, Theo, Mitch, and I were hanging out at a mutual friend's place. I had noticed Theo being quite tired at school, saying he had been with his friends drinking the night before. Mitch was also having an off day. He wasn't wearing the normal red hoodie he wore every single day, and he had skipped school entirely. Everyone besides me had started drinking a bit while we all chatted and hung out. After maybe 20 minutes, Theo got a frantic phone call from his mom, asking why the police were at their house looking for him and Mitch. They both looked at each other with the most dread I had ever seen. Before anyone could respond, we heard his mother start crying over the phone.
Oh my God, Rich is dead. Why is he dead?
My stomach instantly dropped. His mom said she was coming over immediately to get him and Mitch. The room was deafeningly silent. I remember wanting to ask so many questions, but at the same time, thought it would be better to just stay quiet and know nothing. After what felt like an eternity, we decided to go down to the first floor from the third floor we had been on. I was the last one to file down the stairs to the first floor, but before I could, the front door burst open, and around 12 cops, all in full gear, guns out, stormed in yelling for all of us to put our hands up and slowly lay down on our stomachs. When two officers started cuffing us, the rest started clearing each room. I remember feeling like this all couldn't have been real. Not even thinking about why it was happening, but still trying to even comprehend what was happening, you know? We were led outside, and Theo and Mitch were held on the ground while a separate officer was allowing my friend and me to be seated on a step after searching us. These are parts I vividly remember. I wasn't angry, scared, or really anything because it all happened so quickly that I couldn't even process it. All I knew was that I just had a gun pointed at me for the first time in my life, and Theo and Mitch knew a lot more than anyone else. At some point, all of the cops had left the house, placed Theo and Mitch into different cop cars, and were uncuffing my friend and me, who still just sat there in disbelief. I didn't know if this had all been 10 minutes or 3 hours. I felt nothing. It wasn't until a few days later that I got the whole story. The night before this, Theo, Mitch, Rich, and Tommy had been busy. First, they went around looking for unlocked cars to steal out of, and by the third car, they discovered and stole a loaded gun. Next stop, a local restaurant bar where they proceeded to steal as much liquor as they possibly could. And finally, third stop, back to Tommy's house to drink as much as humanly possible. At some point late into the night, they all went to walk a very intoxicated Theo home. And Tommy refused to leave his new toy at home. Once my ex had gotten home, the rest made their way back, but Rich and Tommy got into an argument. Without hesitation, Tommy shot and killed Rich in the street, who was standing right next to Mitch, who was instantly covered in his blood. They both ran. The street this happened on was residential, and 2 different houses got it all on security cameras. It wasn't until the first neighbor, who was leaving for work that morning, found his body. In the end, everyone walked free, besides Tommy, who only got 4 years in prison. I still think about that raid. It messed me up for a long time, but that was just the aftermath. I can't imagine what it did to Theo, Mitch, or even Tommy. What does killing a friend in a drunken rage do to the psyche of a 16-year-old?
Stay tuned for more disturbing stories. Cold mornings, holiday plans. This is when I need my wardrobe to just work. That's why I'm all about Quince. They make it easy to look sharp, feel good, and find gifts that last. From Mongolian cashmere sweaters to Italian wool coats, Quince pieces are crafted from premium materials and built to hold up without the luxury markup. Their outerwear lineup is no joke. Down jackets, wool topcoats, and leather styles that are built to last. And by cutting out middlemen and traditional markups, Quince delivers the same quality as luxury brands at a fraction of the price. It's everything you actually want to wear, built to hold up season after season. Frequent Disturbed listeners might remember that I got an organic stretch corduroy overshirt a few months back. I've been loving it. It looks good, feels good, and I'm able to layer it as we head into winter. I also just picked up the classic organic Percal gingham sheet set, and they're now the best sheets I own. Get your wardrobe sorted and your gift list handled with Quince. Don't wait. Go to quince.com/disturbed for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. That's QUINCE.com/disturbed. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/disturbed. If you could stop somebody from breaking in before they got inside, why wouldn't you? Most old school systems go off after someone's already in your place. That's too late. SimpliSafe is different. It's proactive, with a double layer of defense that stops crimes before they start. First, AI-powered cameras spot potential threats outside. Then, live agents step in, talking to the person through the camera, letting them know they're on video and police will be dispatched if they don't leave. They can even trigger a loud siren or spotlight. That's how you help stop crime before it starts. I got SimpliSafe a few months back, and I've never felt more secure. My new entry and motion sensors give me confidence that my family and belongings are safe, whether I'm out of town or settling in for the night. That's real safety at the click of a button. This month only, take 50% off any new system. This is one of the best prices you'll ever see for SimpliSafe. Don't miss it. Hit simplisafe.com/disturbed. Again, that's simplisafe.com/disturbed and lock in your discount. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. Next, a mysterious truck stalks a young girl. Narrated by Camila Pinero. From Reddit user NoAntelope2912.
I'm 25 now, and I don't like to walk at night. But I used to not really care as a child. I'd play with my cousins in front of my tia's house late into the night and walk with my brothers to the park down the street to watch the sunset. Something changed when I was 15. It was summer in a suburb outside of Dallas. My parents were divorced, and I was stuck at my dad's house for a couple months. One night, I was feeling restless, so I grabbed my chihuahua and went on a walk. The town was quiet. I walked the only road that led out of my neighborhood and onto the main street. As I walked by the nice houses, I tried to catch a glimpse inside, curious of the people and furniture inhabiting them. Then, a large red truck turned onto the street. The man driving had his hand out of the window, and when he passed, we made eye contact. He was driving pretty fast, so it was only for a moment, but something about how we looked at each other made me shiver. My gut told me to turn back, but I ignored it initially. I continued my walk for another 10 minutes, replaying the encounter in my head. Eventually, the mix of Texas heat and humidity, plus worries about the weird man, made me so uneasy I had to turn back. Halfway home, I noticed someone had their headlights on, lighting the corner I was approaching, but I couldn't see the vehicle. When I stepped into the light, I saw it was the red truck. He had his brights on, so I couldn't see the driver again, but I could tell he parked hastily. He was at an angle, like he had stopped in the middle of parallel parking. Something about it was off. I could feel my stomach sinking, but I tried to remain calm. I picked up the pace, ushering my dog across the street and away from the vehicle. Then I heard the engine rumble behind me. I immediately picked up my dog and tried to run, but it was almost impossible in my flip-flops. I had to stop to take them off, and I was freaking out because I could hear the truck getting closer. I turned to my right and saw the truck drive right beside me. It was like the world slowed down. The man stared at me, but he wasn't upset. He was emotionless, like this was just another day to him. I still remember his face. It was round, but he had prominent cheekbones and a mustache. He drove past, heading down the street, but his eyes stayed on me as long as they could. I needed to get home immediately, but my dad's house was the second to last on the street, meaning I'd have to risk passing the truck again. And instead, I dipped through a neighbor's yard and into an alley. And from there, I could see my dad's house, but if I made a break for it, the truck could still cut me off. Instead, I froze, silently shaking in fear, waiting for the truck to make a move. My dog was squirming, and all I could do was pray that he wouldn't yelp. I glanced at my neighbor's sliding glass back door, and I saw my neighbor. I thought it was a miracle, someone sent from God to help me, but she didn't move. She saw me, a young teenage girl out of breath, holding her chihuahua and flip-flops in her hand, and she headed upstairs. I was alone. Then, a rumble from the street over. The truck was driving away from me and my dad's house. I took the opportunity and booked it home. I ran through the door so fast I nearly knocked over our coat rack. I told my dad everything. I'm sure I was a very confused, babbling mess, but he believed me. He, my dog, and I got into the car and drove around the neighborhood to see if we could see the guy, but there was no sign of him. This experience has left me shaken till this day. I really think I was close to being kidnapped, so I still won't go walking at night by myself.
AG1 is the daily health drink that combines your multivitamin, pre- and probiotics, superfoods, and antioxidants into one simple green scoop. It's one of the easiest things you can do to support your body every day. With the holidays almost here, it's more important than ever to be proactive about supporting your immune health. Cold weather, travel, and excessive Christmas desserts can easily throw our bodies out of rhythm, potentially threatening what is supposed to be an enjoyable time with family. AG1 helps me stay consistent and grounded amidst the chaos. AG1 Next Gen contains more vitamins and minerals than ever before, and it's clinically shown to fill common nutrient gaps. Plus, the pro and prebiotics in AG1 help support gut health and digestion, which keeps me feeling great. I definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to be at 100% this holiday season. AG1 has their best offer ever. If you head to drinkag1.com/disturbed, you'll get the welcome kit, a morning person hat, a bottle of vitamin D3 plus K2, an AG1 flavor sampler, and you'll get to try their new sleep supplement AGZ for free, which has been a game changer for my nightly routine. That's drinkag1.com/disturbed for $126 in free gifts for new subscribers. You know I'm not going to let big wireless and my overpriced phone bills suck the joy out of the holidays this year. Because right now, all of Mint Mobile's unlimited plans are 50% off. I can get 3, 6, or 12 months of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. It's their best deal of the year, and it makes it real easy for me to give my expensive wireless bill the Scrooge treatment. All Mint plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. You can bring your current phone and number over to Mint, so switching is easier than ever. No contracts, no nonsense. Longtime Disturbed listeners know I made the switch a while back, and I can't believe I didn't do it earlier. I'm saving money, I get great service, and I'm stress-free. I can't recommend Mint enough. Turn your expensive wireless present into a huge wireless savings future by switching to Mint. Shop Mint Unlimited plans at mintmobile.com/disturbed. That's mintmobile.com/disturbed. Limited time offer, upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 a month or equivalent. Taxes and fees extra, initial plan term only. Usage greater than 35 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com. Welcome back to Disturbed. In our final story, a young girl finds herself in the middle of an ocean, and her shipmates are not what they seem. Narrated by Catherine Restivo, from Reddit user Katapai.
When I was 14 and a freshman in high school, I had some pretty intense behavioral issues. I was partying constantly and getting into fights with my parents. Little did they know, I was also doing drugs. Most of my friends were seniors due to me being on a varsity team, and hanging out with 18-year-olds wasn't helping my behavior improve much. My parents, at their wits' end, decided to try one more thing before military school. A week-long sailing experience out in the ocean that would teach participating kids discipline. The boat would not dock. We'd be in open water for 7 straight days. I was the youngest girl on the boat. There were 2 other girls, one 16 and one 17, and probably 5 or 6 boys between 15 and 18. The rest were crew, who we referred to as counselors. There was only one bathroom on the boat, and it was directly in front of the girls' bunks, as in, we were laid out right in front of the door, and anyone who used the toilet in the middle of the night would pass within a foot of us to enter the little stall. The very first night, one of the counselors got fixated on me. Obviously, every kid there had problems, but I was by far the youngest and female and clearly did not know anyone. He sat next to me all through dinner up on deck, talking to me despite me trying to read the one book I'd brought, and he decided to hang out below deck with the kids after dinner. I tried to be polite, but anyone watching us could tell I was weirded out. Eventually, the counselor revealed that he was 19, and one of the other boys got on his ass about making me uncomfortable. "She's 14, bro," he said. The counselor sort of backed off after that, but I was worried he was watching me for days after. Unfortunately for me, one of the other boys decided he wanted to get to know me better. I was friendly to him at first, as I didn't come to the program with any friends, and it was a long, lonely week. But things got weird fast. When I eventually told him I wasn't interested in him romantically, he threw a tantrum, yelling about how there's no love on this boat, and he couldn't wait to get back to the hose. His friends told him to leave it, but he was angry the rest of the week. I tried to just ice him out and pretend it wasn't getting to me. I became so paranoid, especially at night, that I had trouble sleeping. I gladly took the late watch shifts up on deck because it kept me out of that damp, claustrophobic space where I constantly felt unsafe. I just had a feeling that something was wrong. At the end of the week, all the kids exchanged kicks so we could keep in touch. Immediately after I got home, I received a message from one of the weird kid's friends. He told me that I was right to feel uncomfortable around the weird boy because he had been watching me sleep. Apparently, the weird boy was so mad at me for rejecting him that he would stand at the edge of where the girls slept. Weird Boy's friend only did it with him once, but got uncomfortable when Weird Boy suggested they unzip my sleeping bag and pull down my pants while I slept. The friend went back to sleep on the boy's side of the hold and left Weird Boy to watch me. Weird Boy was 17, at least a foot taller than me, and had 70 pounds on me easily. I couldn't have done a damn thing if he actually decided to do more than just watch. I didn't sleep well in group settings for years afterwards. I still think about how there was a time when I was 14 years old and unaware that someone had stood over me, watching. And fuck the kid who let him do it.
Want more Disturbed? Check out our Patreon for member-exclusive content, early merch access, and other cool perks. I'm your host, Doug Bailey, and this has been Disturbed, a production of Killer Podcasts and part of the Evergreen Network. For more paranormal and true crime shows, visit killerpodcasts.com. Follow our social channels at Disturbed Podcast on Instagram or Disturbed_pod on Twitter. If you enjoyed the show, please consider subscribing and reviewing on your favorite listening platform. Share your own true horror story at disturbedpodcast.com. Music by Epidemic Sound and by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. Our producer is Declan Roars. Audio engineering by Nathan Corson, Will Pritz, and Sean Rule Hoffman. Executive producer Bridget Coyne. Until next time, stay safe out there.